Hello everybody, welcome to Instantgo Tarot Odyssey. I have to share something funny with you. I had just been taping for about 5 minutes and Winter came and ran across the altar like she always does, and I remember going, oh god, she's just, here she comes, I'm just going to let her walk across. She just loves it. So if she does it, she does it. She likes to come say hello. Hello, Winter Skinsies. However, had she not done that, I would have taped for like 30 minutes and not been able to use the audio because I had Bob Marley and reggae blasting in the background, and like I didn't even notice. I listened to it so much, and either you wouldn't have been able to hear me, and plus I don't own the rights to that music, so I was like, thank you, Winter. So that was about 5 minutes and it was so funny. And that has to do with today's reading too. Our animal spirits, our animal guides, our fairies, our archangels, everything that helps us out and what we need to pay attention to. Another thing that just helped me a moment ago too was I have an automatic handheld device that starts the camera for me, and I have so many things around me right now in my office getting ready for the trip, which is Friday. We leave for Stonehenge on Friday. I'm so excited. So you guys, there's some more silver dipped supercharged crystals that I'm bringing still left in my shop if you guys are curious. I was like, you need to slow down. Put on your megahertz meditative mind music and slow down, and you'll remember where you put this. We always have help from our subconscious when we slow down, and right away I remembered where I put it. And it was underneath the altar cloth, and I wouldn't have found that if I was like in some hurry scurry type of phase in my head. And we all get that, right? Where we can't find our car keys, we can't find things, we start to panic. And this brings me to one of the things that I posted today, and I would love for you guys to go over to my Instagram at Sparkwist11 and check it out. And it's basically a worksheet out how to worry less. It's so simple, and I relook at this every single day because my mind will skip into travel, what can happen at the airport, this and that, and we start to have all these thoughts inveigle their way in our head and start to make us worry, right? But this is where we need to make a distinction between a real problem and an imagined scenario that hasn't happened yet. A lot of us project fear and worry into the future or something. We have no say in the matter, right? The weather, delays, all of that. So it's like, let's really not spend our beautiful mind time on worrying and have it be in all the great things that we want to create and fasten our life into, right? So start noticing when you're worrying too, and give yourself permission to stop. Remind yourself regularly. If all of a sudden you're like, oh, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, just say, hey, what are you doing? You don't want to send that energy that way, and you have no control over it. So just stop it by recognizing that worrying does not help us. It just drains our energy and it stresses us out. So let's be patient with ourselves and learn how to worry less and really just look forward to things. That's how I start my day. Like, for instance, today is packing day and sorting day and getting our bags and checking our weight. And Ian started really early, and I was getting all the crystals ready in the decks that we're bringing, and I was like, you know what, just slow down. Do it piecemeal, 1, 2, 3. First, you can get all your decks, because the people that ordered their private Stonehenge readings get the decks that I use. So I'm having those all lined up, and then the crystals. And I was like, take it one step at a time. Take coffee breaks, make fun. One of my favorite things to do is make public videos for you guys. So I was like, and do that, and you'll feel really good. So, that's something I want you guys to really, really focus on this week if you can, how to alleviate worry by recognizing that it is an absolute waste of time, and use your animal guides to help you. I mean, Winter, I have crows all the time that when I start to stress or go too quickly, they come in my backyard and they start cawing really loudly, and it's just an absolute synchronistic message for me to slow down, take a deep breath, and relax. So we have 3 choices today. I'm just going to get this. All right, we have the bull, we have raven, and then we have bee right here. So I'm going to let you make your choice. I love blackbirds. I love crows and ravens. I feel like they're harbingers of good luck and happy omens. Like, I get so excited when I see dark birds. Okay, so we're going to begin with number 1, which is bull. Right away, I feel like if you chose this, that you have that strong Taurian energy that's very grounded. It's going to help you. And Spirit always wants us to remind us that Why should we have an inflated sense of concern or future concerns or past regrets or anything like this? I feel like Taurus energy and Bull energy is about the present. When they're charging, when they're checking their environment in Krav Maga and other martial arts, there's this thing called situational awareness. You're going to have that. That means you're going to look around you and you're going to see what people are doing. Anything that smells off, like fire, you're going to be able to feel the temperature. It's that thing where your hair stand on end. You see where people's body posture is like, where their hands and arms are. Like in place to just say, if you're a police officer too, they also have high situational awareness. Where are people's hands? Are there weapons? Are there lumps or bumps under their clothes? All of that. Because they're always in when am I going to charge? When am I going to see this opportunity? When am I going to go? And I feel like that's part of what you're going to be tuned into. Like, wow, now is my time to charge. Now is my time to go get this, to make this dream come true, to have this and to make it my reality and let it materialize through, the highest vibration you can constantly have. Oh, I love this. Salvation and divine wisdom. So these are two of the things that are overarching energies for you right now. And I always see the salvation card as seeing the silver lining, seeing that we're always going to have peaks and valleys. One day we can absolutely feel like we're on top of the world and, the gift of the universe keeps on giving and we feel good and happy. And there are alternate days where there does feel like desolation, loneliness, and despair. And the thing is, our thought process usually goes down one road or the other. We can only think one thought or mood at a time, right? And it's usually good or not good, right? It's either negative or positive. So salvation is in our shift, in our knowing that we're in control of our thoughts and us saying, listen, why the hell am I worried about being 5 pounds overweight or not being able to go to Cirque du Soleil or all these little things when I have a roof over my head, I have food to eat, I have animals. When we get down to Maslow's needs and hierarchy, it's what are you starting with? Your base needs, are they met? Do you have shelter and do you have food? If you do, everything else is wonderful and we build from there. And that's where the salvation lies in our mental state, in our health state, because we realize that we're always going to reach for the good, see the positive, and know that we can expand. It's about our perspective, because we can get in dire straits immediately in our head, but is that the reality? No, we're not going to be in traffic for 6 hours where this isn't going to happen. That, people get very, very extremist in their thoughts, and the salvation is recognizing that what you're thinking isn't necessarily true and that you can switch that positive switch at any time. And divine wisdom helps with that. Sophia of Divine Wisdom says, take a deep breath and really analyze something. Is the sun still shining? Is the earth still rotating? Every single day is an opportunity to see things in a new way, a better way, and a brighter way. And when we do that, we ever notice when you're very optimistic, you see all the opportunities, you see everyone else who's smiling, you seem to find what you're looking for? Food tastes better, coffee tastes better, everybody seems more affectionate, all of that. That's divine wisdom saying, listen, the universe, it's like the Fool card. The universe looks out after me. I may trip and fall on occasion. I may lose my way. I may some days be not motivated, not even want to get out of bed and move. But there are other days where we just feel supernaturally awesome, right? And that's the days I look forward to. And I'm lucky that the majority of my days are like that because I get to do what I love. So I never feel like I'm working. I love to connect with you guys. I love receiving messages that change and shift my reality to let other people recognize, they have so many innate gifts, and that when we take fear out of the equation, we just reach for it and go for it. I am lucky that I could care less what anybody else thinks of me personally, what I do for a job, how I dress, how I look. But it took me 40 or so years to get there. So you younger people that are out there, I love and admire you so much in such a tough, radioactively crazy Instagram world, right? Where everything is airbrushed to the nth hour. Everybody doesn't even look like themselves. It's, it's just a really kind of superficial, weird thing. And I hear from most of my clients, they get depressed, sad, and dissuaded from things when they're on social media too much and they see everybody living their best quote unquote life, where it's their best picture. It's not people living their best life, it's people living their best picture. So remember that as well. When you see somebody drenched in gold in Dubai, they are simply setting up a picture. And in most cases, if you see the behind the scenes of people doing that and they're doing several takes, they get really agitated. It's like the housewives when they're doing the confessionals. They're wearing so much makeup and their hair has to be done and all their stuff. They're agitated. It's not a natural state. So you look at somebody who's backpacking or foresting or in the forest mountains or by an ocean, how natural and happy they look. They're usually just wearing something very simple. It is the earth that grounds them. It is the things that matter. It is nature. It is salvation. It is Earth, Gaia, and all those things that are leading us to our best possible selves. I'm my best person ever when I'm outside. And if I'm surrounded by trees, I love it. I feel like I'm a magical fairy in fairyland. Like I do. I look for deer. I look for rabbits. I love the sounds. If I smell pine, I'm instantly relaxed. So go to your place in nature, ocean, river, forest, whatever it is, and ground out. Now, your overarching energy for this too is a dragon, fae, goddess, Tiamat. So it says you're stronger than you think. We all are. I absolutely blow my mind on occasion where I'll have a whole bunch of incidences. You know, when you have children get hurt, they do crazy things, and you just get it together and you fix that, right? Like I'm crazy good in emergencies because I don't lose my mind. I used to babysit and I'd have kids choking and I would Heimlich and no big deal. Go on, keep it moving. It's one of those things where you just know that when you think rationally and calm, life is rational and calm, right? You're a lot stronger than you think. A lot of you guys have undergone some terrible illnesses and cancers, and you know, a lot of you guys have a lot of autoimmune deficiencies. I'm hearing that really loud, and I know that's a struggle and it's hard, and you lose a little bit of focus and energy, and that's very difficult. And you guys push through and you look for the optimism, you look for the window of light, you look for the hope and the love. So always know our body repairs on a cellular level. Our mind helps us when we give it good, positive feedback on ourselves. The most important thing is that you value yourself and you act accordingly due to that. You never underestimate your gifts, your talent, or your capacity to receive or give love as well, Group 1. Really beautiful. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Don't forget to press like and subscribe. My name is Melanie. And I have a ton of fun things and links below if you want to come see me. I'm at the Etsy store. I have some supercharged crystals that I'm bringing to Stonehenge next week. And I'm going to be photographing and filming it. And it gets these great tickets that have your name on it. Ian just got these. I was so excited. It's the Spark Crest. Yay. Stonehenge charge. Crystal tags. It's all going to have your name, so you're going to see everything filmed as I do it. It's so exciting. So everything is down there, you guys. Private reads, whatever you could want. You hit the little gray arrow and that brings you to all the links. So love and light to you. Yeah, you guys, you're going to be soaring. You're going to have new understanding of how things work for you when you're just in a peaceful mindset. So un momento, and then we're going to start number 2. I'm going to have a sip of tea. I gotta really protect my voice because I think on the first Stonehenge day, I'll be speaking from anywhere between 3 and 6 hours, and I'm like, oh, I'm just learning about like voice protection and, you know, inflections and not going too high or too low to protect your voice because you don't need crazy things happening, right? I love this, you guys. Raven, right away, I feel like if you're drawn to dark birds and you're drawn to that, you understand that you're the type of person where you're going to wake up every day and say, this is going to be my best day. You're realizing you're responsible for every aspect of your life. You're completely free. Birds know that. Hey, I want to fly over here and land on that branch. I want to build a nest completely free. You don't have to be in a relationship to be happy. You just have to understand yourself. You know, and to love ourselves is to just be ourselves. That's what I love the nature of birds and animals. They're like, I feel like taking a nap. Good night. And another thing, life is definitely in constant flux. So we have to savor the moments we enjoy and be knowing that the ones that we don't or aren't enjoying will soon pass. You know, every once in a while I remind that if I'm in an unpleasant situation, that's why I love the Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. She's like, anybody can endure anything for 8 seconds. So count to 8. If you're in a really uncomfortable place, count to 8. She's like, you can do it, and then start counting to 8 again. Like, I love Kimmy Schmidt. I'm like, if anybody ever put me down I think she was in a bunker, and it was so funny because she was there with other sister wives, and it's hilarious. Tina Fey wrote this, and I love Tina Fey as one of my favorite actors and writers ever. And she just was unbreakable. Like, she would make up weird stories and keep herself happy. And I thought, oh my God, what a situation. And I also compare myself to that if I'm ever feeling sorry for myself, I'm like, yeah, but are you in a bunker like Kimmy Schmidt? No, you're not, you know, get over it. Seriously, first world problems, people. So funny. Every time I think of that show, I can't even deal. Now, also, Ravens know that energy of what happens is not as important as how we react to what happens, right? Our car just dies in the middle of the parking lot as we're leaving. People can panic, freak out, and make everybody else uncomfortable, or you can simply stop your vehicle and you can call AAA or call a friend, right? It's how we react. And this is some of the things, you know, that is great when you're a parent. Your kid can do something that's unbelievably insane, rude, or whatever, but it's how you react. And what I always remind myself is take a deep breath and evaluate why they did that first, how you can repair the situation, put everybody at comfort. I don't just react. You ever see parents grab their kid's arm and yank them or pull their hair? I've seen parents do the craziest things, and I'm like, that's reactive. So we're talking about mature responses, right? All of that. Like, a raven's not just going to head out and in a crowd and start pecking at people's heads. They don't get anything out of that. It's irrational. It's crazy, right? So when energy is frenetic and things are maybe not going your way, tap into your highest self and go, how can I alleviate the stress and problem right now? Because we should just be expecting problems and eat them for breakfast. It happens. It comes up. Usually has nothing to do with us. A neighbor, their dog gets out, whatever happens. Strange things all the time. And I learned this lesson yesterday too. I was driving to the gym. The main road was closed. So we had to go around the busiest section of the city where everybody, I am not kidding you, they were driving on the sidewalks. I thought, what the hell is going on? It was so crazy. But again, take a deep breath and realize, hey, you're in the car with your son and you guys love each other's company. So we just, you know, started chatting and talking and having a good time. So let's see what goddess energy is going to be available for you. Yay, we have wisdom. This is with this full Leo moon, this snow moon coming in. This new wisdom is upon us that we are the navigators of our life. We do not have to listen to anybody else. Like Eleanor Roosevelt says, nobody can put us down or make us feel less unless we allow them to. It took me a long while to learn this at work because I find lazy bosses or people that are incompetent will use negative reinforcement. They'll just never thank you for your work. And also they don't like the fact that you outdo them either. So they'll use that, or they'll use the positive negative, you know, oh, you did a good job on that. However, this could use work. They always do that. So they make you question yourself, not them. However, that's a tactic. And you're now starting to realize that when anybody puts me down or questions my abilities, it's actually a projection of them. They don't want to see their own flaws. So they do that. Anybody who speaks from negative feels negatively about themselves. So once we know that, whoa, the game is totally different, right? You're now the queen on the chessboard that can move in any direction. Super upgrade from the rook who's only putting along. And I always associate chess with a lot of things. A spiritual awareness. Rooks, they have very myopic vision and they can only move very slowly in one direction and they're very vulnerable. So they come out of fear, right? Where the king and the queen and the knights, they have much more maneuverability because they have a bigger scope of things, a wider range, and they value themselves. Therefore, they have high value on the board, right? That's how it is in life. And a king and queen, knight, all of that, they act generously. When we act generous with whatever we have, any of our resources, our money, our time, it comes back to us karmically in such a dynamic way. Some of the best things that ever happened to me is I've given gifts to people on their birthday or at Christmas, and it's people I've worked with or people I've just met. I remember once it was the 4th of July, I made all this jewelry, like these bracelets, but they were red, white, and blue. And this girl's like, I love that so much. Where did you get that? And I was like, I made it. And I only make one-of-a-kind things back then. Now I'll start to duplicate it. People like it. And she's like, I love it so much. And I just took it off and gave it to her. And I was like, here you go. I'm like, I made it. I can make another one in 5 minutes. And she literally started to cry. She's like, nobody's ever just given me their jewelry right off of them. It is the coolest, weirdest thing. And she like started to cry. And I thought that is so sweet. And to be able to do that, and because what that is, it's a recognition that they have value and worth to you. If you're willing to give them something, it's saying things don't matter, but you matter. And that changes someone's perspective. So whenever we can do that and we're generous, or you pick up the tab for somebody that you work with, something like that, it's saying, I believe in you and like you enough to share my resources with you. And you're like that naturally. I feel group 2, you have that about you. You have this general warmth and love to you. And people notice that. And that's part of the reason that, you know, you're so special. And let's see what your overarching energy in terms of fairies are. Wild, pure heart. This is you just being authentic and natural and being in touch with your wild woman self. You want to dance, you're at a wedding, you're going to dance to the whatever beat you want to dance to. You're going to dress, do your hair, get tattoos, and do whatever you want. You're an original, and we're all meant to be. We're not meant to be copycat versions of each other. It becomes odd when that happens. You know, where I live on the East Coast, oftentimes people kind of clan together and they become very waspish and the same. And I no longer judge that or have like an issue with it. But every once in a while, I do have a little bit of sadness saying, you know, it's hard to individuate when you move in clans that are so similar, because it's like they assimilate like the Borg. It kind of freaks me out. Where I really like original people. Like I love Cyndi Lauper. I love Pink. I love Katy Perry. I love people that are just unabashedly themselves, right? And it's like, I think that's important for everybody to be who they are and never think they have to shy away from that, to be accepted. And that's you now. You're like, no, here I go. I got my green tutu on. I'm ready to rock. I'm going for it. Like David Bowie is probably my all-time favorite individual that ever lived, just for the type of being and amazing soul that he is, right? And I just love that, because that's fearlessness at being who you are. That's your wild, pure heart, doing whatever you want, making music, writing, whatever. And I feel like you're going to burst out of that cocoon and be sensational. And you deserve to shine in the beautiful starlight just the way you are, group 2. So I love that energy for you. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Don't forget to press like and subscribe. And all my links are down below. If you need a private read, if you need to go to my Etsy store, if you want to become a patron, any old thing, you hit that little gray arrow and it brings you down to the links, and everything is down there. And I just want to offer my sincerest thanks and love for you guys supporting my channel, watching my videos, your comments. I laugh, I cry. I'm serious. I'm brought to tears so much over on Instagram as well with everybody. Your coping mechanisms are amazing for some of the things that you've endured, and you're just like, boop, time to bounce back. Astounded, amazed, and delighted at you guys. So beautiful energy. Now, number 3 is the bee. I always equate with this Virgo energy, you know, productive, clean, clear. Let's get the honey. Let's bring this. Let's do that. If you've ever watched bees work, it's such a beautiful, methodical rhythm and everything. And I have no fear of bees. And I know some people in my family, they like jerk away whenever they see them. I can have them land on me. I'm never afraid of them. The only time I was ever stung is when I stepped on a bumblebee when I was giving. Somebody I was babysitting was on my shoulders. And that was the only time. I don't have any fear of them. I find them so fascinating and beautiful. And I feel like if you chose this, you're ready to get organized. You're ready to become industrious. You're ready to make your dreams happen and to fulfill them. You know, you don't believe you have to be better than everybody else. You believe you have to be better than you were yesterday or you thought you could be. Your strong soul shines after every storm. So it's like whenever you didn't accomplish something, you come out and you're like, I'm going to try again. It's the little wins, those little sparks of silver in the lining that help you progress to the next level. It's so rare that anybody has meteoric immediate success. They just don't do that. And you know, it takes time to grow something, expertise, study, all of that. So that's like the biggest thing that I needed to learn and remind myself at the beginning of my channel, my readings and all of this. I was very lucky that right away I had people that were subscribing and ordering reads and actually wanted life coaching and for me to teach them how to do what I was doing, because I thought, how well will I navigate a whole free 24 hours for myself and be inclined to have it be, you know, systematic, rhythmic, get things done. And then I thought, you know, because everything is your name on it, when it's your business, you want it to be excellent, you want it to be good. And as I was saying in a past reading, that when we make every event special, whether it's a meal and we're going to make that sandwich the best sandwich, we're going to make, you know, this video the best video, we're concentrating on it, this conversation, all of that, we're in the present, and being in the present enriches our lives in every way. And bee energy is certainly all about that. I mean, bee energy is like, let's build this honeycomb, let's do this. Focused intention, and you're going to be really good at that. Now, you also have the Wise Leadership Epona card, and you have Flow. This is one of my favorite cards due to the fact that when we just flow, when we just allow other people their opinions and we don't have to gauge them, jump on them, judge them or anything, we're doing great, right? We don't need to care what anybody else is doing. We're flowing, we're staying in our lane. And then if we can have any choice tidbits that help us on our ascension, our journey, we snap them up and we use them and we apply them, right? I love Tony Robbins. I love Victor Otto. I love, all these people that are very inspired and they're reaching with gusto, and, little tidbits and advice, definitely, because we have to remember our mind can be an absolute convincing liar. It can tell us, oh, you can't do that. Well, why can't we do that? We have to ask our mind, oh, who says? You know what I mean? You know who says? Your subconscious from when you were year 1 to 7, when your parents, teachers, or siblings told you, you can't do that. You can't climb that tree. You can't get in that canoe. You can't do that. So we heard it so much that when we hear our mind say that, we start to believe it. Question everything. Question everything your mind says. It's not true. And just remember, too, the people that we compare ourselves to compare themselves to other people, too. So everybody is always setting some kind of status quo, some kind of, beautiful pinnacle of success. And it's always different. It's all different stages. So just remember that, we have to fully accept and make peace with the now before we can reach and feel satisfied with the later. The bee knows that, right? They're hard at it. We're flowing. We're not looking 20 miles down the river, right? We're flowing and navigating those pebbles, those rocks, those branches, so we can go through it beautifully and unscathed, right? Being in the now, being in the present. Always important. As much as I have going on later in the week, today is today, and I want to make some great videos, so I am here. Now, you also have the Wise Leadership card, which I love, because that's saying that when you need the proper words, when you need the proper ideas, they are going to come to you, and you're going to be able to delegate your time wisely and have people welcome your suggestions. Your power of suggestion is going to be very strong. People are going to want to help you. They're going to identify that you're doing this for the collective good, and they're going to get in line and they're going to help you. Because again, you're going to be using positive reinforcement. You're going to be uber helpful. You're going to be there for questions. All of a sudden, when I decided I was going to take my first client for life coaching, I said, listen, these people look to you for answers and guidance. And I was like, and you have a few years and experience under your belt. So what you have to do is make it wholly about what is their journey and what's going on. Because when you are advocating certain, spiritual ideas and pathways to take, it's like one of those things when it just comes from an authentic heart space, you're going to do extremely well, right? It's not for the ego. It's not how you can preach or gain or any of that. It is for that person's benefit. And that's what Wise Leadership is all about, right? And the collective. And you're going to have courage with this beautiful Tatsuya card. It's like you're not looking for obstacles, fears. You're not allowing that in. You're not projecting here fear, hate, inadequacy, or anything. It's all streamlined. You need love the most when you feel you deserve it the least, right? That's one of the things where people, when they're down on themselves, they don't feel like they're creative enough or calm enough or funny or whatever. And the thing is, we can feel cheerful, content, joyful at any given time when we just allow for it. We stop pushing so hard, and we're like, I always just turn on the comedy channel. I start watching stand-up comedy and I get in a really good headspace. Comedy always works. Good music. And because then that gives me courage. I'm like, if I can switch that mood from a worried concern or anxiety straight into humor, I can change anything. I could change my outlook and my perspective. Hell yes, you can change anything, and you're knowing that. And you're realizing you don't have to be demanding, impatient, or persistent, commanding, bossy, or any of that garbage to get what you want. This is all about big-hearted giving, charitable, open-handed courage, saying, I'm willing to do for you whatever you would like if I feel you're worthy of that. And then it just generates a really beautiful camaraderie and people then wanting to help you. And I feel like you're just stepping into this phase where you're like, I can do anything, and I'm going to take focused, intentional steps towards that. And I know I don't have to have a blue ribbon the second I step out the door. I'm going to do this methodically and realize good things take time, right? You can't bake a cake and pull it out of the oven when it's half cooked and expect it to be good. So no, we don't go from novice to expertise in a day. All about having courage to keep on that journey, because you are going to be in a leadership position due to the fact that your ideas are flowing. Your karma, your chi, everything is flowing, is good, is rich, and it's a dynamic time for your group 3. So beautiful energy. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Don't forget to press like and subscribe. And all my links are down below. If you need a private read, if you want to go to my Etsy store and get your supercharged crystals that I'm bringing to Stonehenge, everything is over there. Anything that you want is, I've got my Instagram information, Patreon, everything is down there. I'm so excited, you guys. Like, this is a new stage for all of you to just expand, glow, and ascend to who you really are meant to be, and it's quite beautiful. So love and light.